हम्म। ए, गेट बंद कर। गेट बंद कर जल्दी पहले। मेरे लिए भी लाइट हो बाबू। गेट बंद करके जा। बुला कैसा है? तो बाबू एक बार दिखा दो फोन। एक बार दिखा फोन। क्या कर रहे हो? तूने आगे लगाए हो क्या? मुझको देखना है बस। मैं आगे खेलना है। बाबू तो मुझे करिए क्या? करिए क्या?
When I actively trading, I don't mean to say you have to stay in front of the screen from 9:15 to 3:30. Active trading is trading at least twice a week, right? It could be swing trading, it could be positional trading, it could be day capital every month. That's my goal. Sometimes I'm able to achieve it. Sometimes I am scoring maybe 14-15%. Sometimes I'm maybe at 2-3%, or sometimes if there is a loss, I'm down 3 or 4%. So on an average, I try to make 7 to 8% every single month from my trading, and whatever profits I make from that, I invest them into good quality companies so that my money keeps getting compounded. So that's the philosophy, that's the strategy, and that's the approach that I follow. And with this number, you can also understand that your charges and your brokerage component should never be more than 10% of your gross PNL. So if you're having a profit of, let's say, 50 lakhs, your charges plus brokerage, etc., should not be more than 5 or 6 lakhs. And that's exactly the case. If it is more than that, that means you're you're over trading. And when it comes to PNL, this is what usually PNL looks like. So I'll just show you the calendar year 2024. And if you look at the calendar year 2024, like from January 24 to December 24, you will see that not every single month is profitable. Some months there are losses, some months there are profits. But when you actually dig deeper, you'll understand that the months in which there are losses are relatively much smaller than the months that are green. That shows you something called the reward to risk ratio of the strategy, meaning that when your strategy is giving you money, when the strategy is profitable for you, how much money is it able to extract for you, and when it is not working out for you, how much loss is it able to take, and what's the ratio between that. So I usually have a ratio of about 1:2.5 or a 1:3. I aim for a 1:3, but not all trades give you a 1:3 risk reward ratio. And last but not the least, what is the win rate of the strategy that we're going to be talking about? So the win rate of the strategy on an average ranges between 70 to 80%. It could sometimes go to 65, it could sometimes even go to 90%. Why am I saying this? Is because the performance or the accuracy of any strategy in the world can never be constant because the markets are ever changing. How many of you agree? Give me a yes. There are markets when there is full momentum, there are days where there is no momentum, there are days when the markets are crashing, there are days when the markets are rising, and there are a lot of other variables, etc. Right? So on an average, if your strategy is able to give you a win rate of anywhere about 65 to 70%, which is a realized win rate, not on paper but in your PNL, you're good to go. This strategy also gives me somewhere between 65 to 85% of win rate depending on market conditions. And since the risk reward is very good, you are eventually going to make money if you can keep your risk in check. So I hope this data really gives you an understanding of what should be your realistic expectations from the market. And to sum it up, I usually tell people to have an expectation of about making about 5% every month when they're starting out, and then they can increase their expectation later on. One simple rule that you'll have to follow irrespective of any strategy that you use, and this is what I've learned in the last 10 years of my experience, the only thing that you control in the world of trading, and that's exactly how professionals really deal with trading, the only factor in your control in this world of trading and investing is the risk that you take. You can't control how much the stock will go up or down. You can't control what's gonna be a statement by Modi or Trump or maybe any other geopolitical scenario, which party will win elections, what's going to happen to crude oil, etc. You have no control over that. The only thing that you have control of is how much risk you are taking. And I have a simple rule: I don't risk more than 1% of my trading capital on single trade. That's the only rule that you need to follow. I am a believer of simplifying trading and not overcomplicating it. How many of you believe the same? Simplifying trading gives you more clarity of thought, gives you a lot of peak performance in your trading, and complicating your trading with multiple strategies, concepts that don't really make sense, and adding indicators or tools, etc., which are not necessary for you, it's just going to make your life hard. So now let's get to the topic. Trading is a skill, everyone knows that, but there are three major pillars that you will have to ace if you want to do this the professional way. The first thing is technical analysis, the understanding of the market. Now this is where most traders have a problem. Although the information about trading is readily available everywhere, YouTube, Twitter, internet, Telegram, books, maybe courses, seminars, workshops, every single place, there is now a lot of information. Actually, there's over information now, and that makes a trader or an investor confused as to what to do, what not to do. So you really need to crack technical analysis. I will help you to do that in this webinar. The second thing that I already mentioned is risk management. You cannot risk more than 1% of your trading capital in a single trade. If you don't follow this rule, I can write it on a piece of paper and give it to you. You will never make money in trading, right? So anyone who's advocating, risk 20% of your capital, 25% of your capital, take risk, go big, go home. They're only going home. They're not making big trading, right? So I know trading excites a lot of people. I know there is an
इससे कैसे खोलेंगे तो इससे नहीं खुलेगा नहीं
green red up and down, but you need to
इसका खोलने का तो ला पहले अच्छे ढक्कन खोलने का तो ला मम्मा से इसको रख वापस में नहीं है वहाँ रख
no certainty in this business, but
बोला ना
when
नहीं
you
है
have a strategy, when you have a system, when you do things in a systematic professional way on
देख,
an
देख।
overall basis, on a weekly, monthly, quarterly
दे उठा के दे
basis,
इधर।
you're eventually going to be taking money home, and your objective as a
वो भी दे,
trader
चार्जर भी दे।
is not to have fun in the market, but to rather make money. Now to do that, everyone will use some or the other kind of a trading technique, and